What's good, everybody? Welcome to Daily Battle Rap Review. This is Russian Mike. We're here to review another battle, courtesy of URL. Just came out on the app. Danny Myers versus New Jersey Twork. Long-awaited battle. A lot of people, myself included, expected him to come out on July 4th. As far back as I've been a battle rap fan, especially since the YouTube era, there's always seemed to be a new battle, an anticipated battle that will be dropped on July 4th weekend. Didn't get one this year. I think URL no longer doesn't have to compete with anyone, so we weren't lucky enough to get one. Like I said, something to listen to on over the holiday. By the way, hope everybody's holiday was awesome and everybody had a good time. Didn't get too bothered by the fireworks, didn't get too drunk. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. But let's get into this battle. First of all, I did not take off any points for the bars that were about battling on the roof. It's a little weird to watch, the battle rapper, Danny Myers say to Jersey Twork he's going to jump off the roof or throw him off the roof, and they're battling in the park. But, we're not going to penalize battle rappers, even for the bars they had prepared. It's like, with all the complaints we have and all the choking going on, the fact that, they had bars ready in advance and things got switched on them, we're not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna take off any points for that. Also, this battle reminded me a lot of the previous battle from Sterlized 2 from the same event, which was Jerzey versus Chilla. I think again you have one of the new faces of the brand going up against an underrated writer, somebody who might not get all the credit he deserves, and also just like the way the structure of the battle went. Where I have the first round as close, not necessarily debatable, but close. Second round being very debatable, could go either way, I think. And then third round being super easy to call. That's the way I had it for Chilla Jones Geechee guy, is the same way I have for this battle. Although Chilla Jones Geechee, the question was it 2-1 or 3-0 in favor of Chilla? In this case, it could be 2-1 either way. So anyway, let's get into the battle. I'm going to start with the third round, the most clear, easy round to call. I thought this was Danny Myers' best round. I think he really, really spazzed. Didn't start off well. I mean, he started off with a typical mixed bag, which is Danny's rebuttals. Danny Myers' rebuttals, I'm not the biggest fan of them because sometimes he'll just mention something. Like, he won't really rebuttal, he'll just take something you said in your round and just mention it. So he did it with, like, you mentioned Sudan, big dad's Pan-African. And you're like, okay, yeah, so what? Like, that's not really a rebuttal. But you also had a good thing they already brought the chalk rebuttal about, there being chalk in the park. I thought that was fire. You start off then with a really good angle. I really liked, talking about real talk to Twork about, how he has all this potential he's not really living up to. Basically, what's like to, you're working 60-hour shifts at your job for years, and then you see somebody new work half a shift and get employed in a month. Thought that was fire, and that's, relatable. He also said, he said that he's like Mr. Miyagi looking at Daniel's son, and he's not using the crane kick. It's like, that's what he feels like watching Twork, will mess up and choke and, take deposits and etc. I love the angle, love the bars as well. Danny Myers said, I've never been on Summer Madness because my bars ain't seasonal. That was crazy. I uplifted the hood before your third round versus Verb. That was crazy. He did the whole George Floyd, Carrie and Pig's Blob bar that was kind of set up like early in the round, and then he brought it back. Like, the way it's done was really, really fire. Not afraid, like bumbling what Anderson Paaks. Thought that was crazy. He did the Twork got a reaction. I thought the bar might have got more reaction than it deserved, but he had your character sticks. I thought that was okay, but overall though, a fire round from Danny. I thought that was his best round of the battle. New Jersey Twork, on the other hand, this was his shortest round. Not a bad round, but just weird. Again, start off very slow. He said, what can I say about Danny Myers that hasn't been said about Donald Trump? which is like a setup, you know what I mean? I was laying for a boom behind him, but kind of went nowhere. But then he said, probably my favorite bar of the battle. We said he screamed me 2 colds. I gave him a cold off my back. That crazy. Love that bar. They had a man in black bars in there. When the leader blew up, I gave man toast and coke. Thought that was fire. He said that his mom confused scale with a Game Boy Advance. I haven't seen any scales that look like a Game Boy Advance, but what do I know? I think that was it though. That's all I have written down for Twork. So this was very easy. Danny Myers round. Now I start going back to the first. Danny's in the first. I'm gonna slowly reopen his ish like the economy. So that was crazy. I'm gonna choke Twork like I call my daughter dancing crazy. That was good. Take my deposit for those you never return. That was fire. He did like a Michael Jackson scheme. You was bad till somebody lit up your ish and moonwalked. That was crazy. He said, saying that he influenced Twork style. I was jumping around first, but you got it crisscrossed. So that was a dope bar as well. So Danny Myers style was good, but I thought I have a lot more from New Jersey Twork, for being honest. Put a roof over your head, sound like a single mother. Thought that was crazy. Here, I can hear the sound and tell you what it is, like Shazam, talking about hearing gun sounds. He's a really early strap 10, like out the gate. Hit his head and shoulders, so watch Dan drift away. So that was fire. He had like a great performance moment, kind of almost sound like Your Honor, where he started off kind of painting the picture of like getting into Danny Meyer's house, then like talked about something else, and I was like, where was I? Oh yeah, boom, kicking the door. I thought that was awesome. He had pick up pliers, put it in his mouthpiece. Oh, it's a tongue twister. That was fire. Everything come out bloody like he's British. That was fire. Still up in the air. He's undecided. That was fire. You got potential. They ain't fouled the bullet. I knew you had it in you. Crazy. Just really, really. This is like a vintage Twork, round that like, we all know he's capable of, and we don't get often enough, especially this year. So, again, even though I had some good bars for Danny Myers, and I think on the app I had it like closer than what it sounds. Even like recapping it, I think it gets more and more clear that Twork got that round. So yeah, Danny Myers got the third, Twork got the first. I think somewhat clearly. It really does come down to the second. Danny Myers started off second with like an angle about Twork being a blood. I'll take you to Crenshaw. Let me see how you act. I have your colors changing. Click like chameleon. We heard color changing triple C bar before, chameleon, but thought that was well done and applies to his opponent. What the desert like an oasis. You got everybody shaking hands during the coronavirus. That was fire. Really crazy. It's biblical. Found Jerusalem next to the Dead Sea. That was fire as well. I will push Ish to the left like an Antifa. And then, of course, Danny Myers did a parallel universe bar. Deuce to save his life, give him something to die for. That was fire as well. New Jersey Twork. He started off with like a Scrubs bar, which at this point we've heard a million of them. Like I don't want to hear any more. Hanging on the passenger side of my best friend's ride. Drive-by bars, like they've been done to death. He tried to rebuttal the allegedly bar. It didn't really work either. But then again, see, that's it with Twork, right? He can start off slow and then just heat up out of nowhere. He did rifle out the case and point. I made an example out of you. Fire. Another one of my favorite bars of the whole battle. Bullet headed to his chest, looking like a Power Ranger story. Also fire. He'll lose touch with the whole left side, like a stroke. Thought that was fire. Left side connection, of course. Danny Myers is, gang with Danny. I think Danny, Nitty, Disaster, Geechee, a bunch of other West Coast battle rappers, and he did like he sent some shots to them as well. Let me see. Break down the street, word like Urban Dictionary. Your name won't be close to Sudan, like Ethiopia. Or got my name fly like a paper plane. That was all crazy. And then he did hit Parallel Universe bar himself, which was it wasn't as good as Danny Myers's though. So the second round could go either way. Again, very close. I think it almost comes down to preference. I gave the second to Danny Myers. I just gave him a little bit more points, have a little bit more written down for him. I've always preferred angles to bars, and I think even though he didn't stay with the angle for long, the angle about Twork's gang affiliation, I think that for me that was enough to give him to give Danny Myers the round. Again, overall, I thought it was a good battle, not a classic. Again, people are so quick to, call a battle a classic, and I get it, especially if you participated, if you saw it live, if you, worked on, you had to edit the battle, you had to put it together. You want to believe that, you put all your effort into something special. I think overall it was a very good battle. Again, I think I like it better than even Chiller versus Geechee Guy, right? So I thought it was a very good battle. I think it kind of lived up to the hype. But overall, especially on just 20 minutes in length, again, you can throw a battle on any time and enjoy it. Don't have to fast forward any rounds. But no, it's nowhere near a classic though. Excited to see what's next. I think it's good to hear Twork ready, prepared again. I wouldn't say he had 3 full rounds because the third was a little short, but this is definitely the best Twork we've seen this year. And yeah, it's good to see Danny Myers as well. I hope this is a look that kind of keeps his name up. And maybe one day, we will see him on Summer Madness or Gnome or any of the big stage that, I think everybody at this point knows he deserves. So let me know what you thought of the battle. Let me know what you thought of the breakdown. Subscribe to the channel and leave your comments below. And have a good day.